For today's review, I'll be talking about The Lords of Salem. This is a Rob Zombie film starring Sherry Moon Zombie and a whole bunch of other Rob Zombie regulars. This is a movie I was a little bit hesitant to review at first because, well, I saw it for the first time last year. Amazon was actually having a sale on horror movies and stuff. The Blu-ray was $5. I was like, all right. So I got it, watched it. I fucking hated it. I thought it was awful. I thought it was a piece of shit. But there's a thing about Rob Zombie. His movies kind of require a little bit more attention than what you would initially kind of instinctively want to give it. Like, I remember when I first saw his Halloween remake, I hated that too. But then I watched it again, the director's cut of that, and I grew to like it. I thought it was for what it was, for Rob Zombie's much different vision. I thought it was decent. Probably even one of the better remakes of recent years. And I think that initial viewing, kind of what caused me to dislike it so much. I saw it like almost, I think it was first day in theaters, was my love for the original 78 Carpenter film. So that kind of maybe caused me to not view it objectively, maybe, but how can you when it's a remake? But whatever. That I learned to like. And Devil's Rejects, of course, I reviewed that, I think, last year, and I really love Devil's Rejects. I think that's a wonderful film. So, having watched it for the first time last year, Lords of Salem, just such an immediate distaste. I was like, you know what, I'm going to hold off on this. I'm gonna wait to watch it again. And I actually did watch it last night. Last night, and I wanted to revisit it and kind of since the general map of the movie was already laid out. Now I can kind of enjoy it in a different way and kind of go through what has already been laid out and the tracks that are already kind of in the back of my mind, knowing the plot of the movie, how it kind of pans out. So I gave it a second chance, and I regret to say it it is a piece of shit. It's horrible. Oh my god, what a bad movie. Really. Okay, and whatever. But thing is, Rob Zombie, I'll say he's a talented director, and he has a strong sense of visuals. What seems to me about this movie, though, I am very reluctant to listen to the commentary track. Who knows what he'll be talking about on that? This does have a commentary track. I'm afraid to listen to what he has to say about his own movie. But what I get the sense of is that he had so many visuals in his head of a way to tell this story through a specifically visual way, which is something that I think is really cool. Almost like a silent horror film, which Rob Zombie, I mean, you can accuse him of many things, but he knows his shit. He really does. Like, he knows the classics. He knows, the most obscure horror movies that you think of, and draws inspiration from that. So kind of like, I don't know, like Quentin Tarantino would get from the Grindhouse classics and exploitation stuff. Rob Zombie kind of takes from more obscure kind of horror films and those kinds of types of films. And so he brought it to this with the story of witches in modern day Salem, and kind of this resurgence of a witch cult. And that's basically what it is. The plot is, witches are back in town. I don't know. They mysteriously bring this record to a radio station where Sherry Moon Zombie, her character, is working. The song contains this, I guess, call to action, this trance that the descendants of these original witches are mesmerized by and are drawn to, and begin to sort of hallucinate over, lose their minds over, and something's up, basically. And that's pretty much it. So we have this strong sense of visuals where Rob Zombie's like, hey, I have this cool idea for something really scary. Like, what about this, aborted fetus baby kind of walks up into the bedroom, and what if there's all these bodies here, and this fucking leather-clad dude, and Sherry Moon Zombie riding a fucking goat, and all this shit. And it's like, okay, whatever. Bunch of priests rubbing dildos, like, okay, so he has that stuff in mind. And maybe, I would say, if he released this, let's say he released this, I don't know, as a web exclusive short film, maybe let's say a half hour of this non-narrative surreal, visual, creepy kind of descent into madness, into surreality, into this nightmarish visual kind of world. I think maybe that would be better, and I think maybe based on that, people would say, "Hey, this is so great! You should base a movie around that," and then he'd make this anyway. So whatever, but it's a stupid fucking movie, and I'll tell you why. One, I mean, we have the same annoying characters that Rob Zombie has been known to give us. This time it's worse than ever. This is like Halloween 2 times 10 with annoying characters. It looks like he just took the set design and just put so much, white trash rock shit. And I love my rock, okay? But, after watching this movie, yeah, I really, really liked the Velvet Underground before watching this movie. Now I can't listen to All Tomorrow's Parties without thinking about the last scene of this movie. Anyway, so, typical kind of Rob Zombie, looks dirty, grimy. That's his visual style. That's what he does, no matter what the content is. And annoying characters who jabber back and forth. Listening to the jabbering back and forth on the radio station, it's just obnoxious, for one thing. It's like, this is everyone's idea of what a radio station would be. You say one thing and there's a sound effect for it. It's like, hey, I'm going to run down to work or something. Then press a button. Running down to work. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I was in traffic today. Meet traffic. Stupid shit like that. The most annoying radio disc jockeys you could think of. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's annoying. Main character's annoying. She's, she's Sherry Moon Zombie. And I mean, she's fine. And the thing is, I mean, what a lot of people will kind of criticize about Rob Zombie, like, oh, you're always casting your wife in your movies. She doesn't have talent. She wouldn't have a career if it weren't for you. Well, I mean, whatever. I mean, I wouldn't demonize that. The thing is, I mean, in an industry like that, like with your Rob Zombies, with your Judd Apatow and Leslie Mann, I mean, if spouses can get a chance to work together, if they, trust each other's talents, I think they should. So I can't demonize that at all. And I think, for what it is, I mean, Sherry Moon Zombie, she's a capable actress, and she's surrounded by, some actually really good supporting actors. I mean, we have Ken Foree, who's really good, and we have, who's the guy who plays kind of the whitey investigator guy? Jeff Daniel Phillips, I think. We've Mary Conchita Alonso is his wife. Some of the witches are Dee Wallace, Patricia Quinn, and Meg Foster. So talented cast, and they just have to spout out utter rubbish. So, I mean, basically, the visuals came first for this movie. Hey, I have this really creepy idea for a scene where a woman goes into a church for solitude or solace or whatever. Then the priest comes to her and forces fellatio on her. Then she wakes up and it's just a dream. And then she sees something else creepy and she wakes up and it's just a dream. Then she sees something else creepy and she wakes up and it's just a dream. And that's his excuse to say, oh, well, it's really, the witches, their powerful trance spell over her, messing with her mind. And so, we're, on this journey with her, and, we see the world through her mind, and we're, feeling like we're losing our mind along with her. And it's like a real transcendental experience, and it's like we're really, really feeling like we're in this nightmare world with her, and it's very deep and powerful and scary. No, fuck off, it's not. It's just complete trite. So we have all these visuals, and plot is secondary to that, and dialogue certainly is somewhere far, 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 far beyond the priorities of this film. And so it's as you would expect from anything from Rob Zombie. Plot points kind of just show up and disappear and don't really go anywhere. We have the character who's kind of coming on to some kind of mystery here. He's figuring it out. He's figuring out that Sherry Moon Zombie is the descendant of this grand high priest lady, whatever, and that maybe someone's after her, or he doesn't even really get that far. He just has a complete tiny inkling of a suspicion. Then it's the witches are let's fucking kill him. Yeah. Then they kill him. So that goes nowhere. Even if you think about The Shining, it's Scatman Crothers. He goes on this huge journey just to get killed in 5 seconds by Jack Nicholson. Even that's more satisfying than this with this character. And You know, Sherry Moon Zombie's in sort of in a relationship with the other disc jockey there, and we're supposed to believe that she loves him in some kind of way, and he kind of gets a sense of what's going on, and all this stupid shit, and nothing really kind of comes together. So we get a sense that, you know, the witches are doing their little thing and fulfilling this prophecy, and they successfully do so. And, you know, there's a big psychedelic freak out at the end, and she's standing on top of all these corpses while Velvet Underground plays. Then it cuts to her to better times playing with her dog, and, you know, that's like really deep and stuff, because like we think about the better times, man. We think about this character as like a real person and someone, you know, someone next door, man. And like it's really tragic but also kind of beautiful, you know, man. No, fuck off. And then, like, because, you know, Rob Zombie just not wanting to be quite as abstract to at least give us a chance to kind of think about, okay, what has happened here? No, he kind of spells it all out for us at the end of the movie, where they just kind of show pictures of the town, and overlapping the credits, there's audio of a news broadcast saying, all these people died, and they happen to be descendants of the witches, and that's what happened. And it's like, yeah, we get it. I'm not fucking stupid. You don't need to spell it out for me. But he decides to anyway, because he's not that smart of a filmmaker or writer. Again, I'll say the visual style is good. It's really good. If you cut and paste certain scenes of this movie and put like on it like a demo reel of scary, surreal Rob Zombie imagery, it's fine. I mean, but in terms of plot, Rob Zombie, I really, here's what I wish. I would wish Rob Zombie would direct something that he has not written himself. I think, you know, if we get an actually talented writer and actually write something that's well written and good, and have Rob Zombie's visual style to that, that's good. That would be really good. I'd love to see that. But he has too much, maybe an ego, too much of an auteur thing. I don't know. But, I mean, I'd be apologetic for something like Halloween. I'd very much enjoy something like Devil's Rejects, even Halloween 2, which is a frustrating movie, and it has a lot of that pretentious bullshit with these surreal visuals that have no business being there, make no sense whatsoever, and we're just supposed to take a leap of faith and say, oh, well, it's just Rob Zombie being like deep and shit, right? No, this is times 10. This is just, you know, everything bad about like Halloween 2 and made even worse. It's just a bad movie. But, I mean, it takes talented people to make a very distinctly bad movie. A very unforgettably bad movie, which I would say this is. This is a very, very unforgettably, distinctly bad movie. So, I don't like it. It's a piece of shit. So that's my thoughts. Those are my thoughts watching it the second time. I wanted to give it a chance, wanted to watch it again, and, you know, I don't know. I'm very hesitant to see anything more from Rob Zombie. I feel like I'm like kind of done with him. The only way I'd feel compelled to watch another one of his movies is if what I said, if maybe someone wrote the film, but he directed it. So I think that's the only way I'd kind of want to do it again. But, you know, cast is fine. They do an okay job. Good visuals. You know, however Rob Zombie can fit them into the film. You know, he has circular visuals and he's trying to stuff them into square pegs of a plot. So none of it makes much sense. Well, I mean, it does make sense, but it's stupid. So that's my review of Lords of Salem. Thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoy the movie, I'm sorry. You know, it's just my opinion. I mean, I won't knock anybody for liking the movie, but I think it's fucking horrible. And if you like it, you have no taste. So fuck you. Thanks for watching.